Hello everybody, welcome to the second part of my tutorial on how to create a tileable medieval stone floor. In this second part of the tutorial, we will continue from where we had stopped. This is the result from the first part of the tutorial, where we had created this mesh that represents a stone floor, a medieval stone floor. What we want to achieve in this part is to create a tileable version of this mesh. So we will be able to place copies of this mesh in a row in order to cover larger areas. What I mean by tileable is that we want the copies to repeat seamlessly without seams, and I want to show what I mean giving an example using exactly this one mesh. First of all, I'm going to apply the subsurf modifiers we had used from the previous part, and what I will do now is I will add an array modifier. We can see the effect of the modifier. What it does is to put an exact copy of the mesh right next to the original one. We can change the number of the copies. I will add 2 more copies, creating a total of 4 copies. Furthermore, we can add another array modifier that will act in combination to the first one, only that this time we want to use the effect along the y-axis. So we see that we have 2 array modifiers. We will go to the second one and we will change this value. There are 3 lines. The first line is to create copies along the x-axis, the second along the y-axis, and the third along the z-axis. What we want here is to create copies along the y-axis, so we will change this to 0 and this to 1. And I will add some more copies. Okay, we can see that we have covered a larger area. Only there is a problem, and this problem is those ugly seams that are visible and make the result quite unrealistic. What we want and what we are going to do in this part of the tutorial is to get rid of these seams here. In order to do this, we have to go some steps back. We will use an earlier version of the original mesh, specifically this one. This is the mesh after we had used the cut tool in order to create the different tiles. Okay, what we are going to do now? We will go to face select mode and let me activate the screencast keys. Okay, we will go to the face select mode and we will select all the faces, all the rightmost faces, a single row which is the right one, and then we are going to press Y in order to split these faces. Okay, if I grab the faces, we can see now that they are split, and we will move the faces along the x-axis and place them here, leaving a gap of about a single unit, and then we will change to edge select mode we will select these edges here and these edges here. By pressing F, we will fill this empty area. Okay, and we have created a large n-gon, this one. Okay, and then I will start adding more vertices using the cut tool again. What I'm going to do is to extend this row of tiles, extend each of the tiles. Okay, so I press K and I start adding vertices. Okay, remember to press C each time you want to start creating another series of vertices. Okay, what I'm doing now is that I want this one to be a single tile. Now there is an edge here in the middle, but I'm going to remove it later. So I will go on creating extensions of the leftmost tiles of various sizes and shapes. I will leave this one as it is. I won't extend it. I think it's enough. But this one, I will add some vertices, and for this one, and for this one. Okay, by pressing enter, we finalize the effect. We will do the same thing for this row of tiles. Okay, I press the K key and I start adding more vertices. Okay, remember to press the E key. You can notice that I'm going deeper in some tiles, in others not as deep. I can connect some of the tiles. And last one here or here. No, let me place it here. Okay, press enter to finalize, and then we have this area too that we need to fill. So press K again and start filling. I don't like this very much, but never mind. As I said, this is a tutorial, so the result won't be perfect. Okay, we have finished. Press enter to finalize. We have a slight problem here, which I'm going to fix. Maybe there are again doubles. Yes, that was a problem. Okay, what we see now is that there is a straight line of edges which we want to get rid of, so we select these edges and we press X and edges. Okay, this makes a gap here, but we are going to fill the gap. By pressing shift and right click, we select the surrounding edges, and by pressing F we fill the space. Okay, you can alternatively you can press Alt Shift and F in order to select more edges with one click. Okay, Alt Shift and F and right click, select the rest of the faces, press F and fill the gaps. Alt Shift and right click, Shift right click and F. Okay, we have filled the gap. Okay, you notice that this row of tiles is large, and I want to make them better smaller, because in the final result it will look somehow awkward, and it will make repeats of the same of this area. So I want to make smaller tiles here. By using the cut tool, I'm separating these tiles. I'm dividing into smaller ones. Okay, here add another one, press E. Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, we've split those tiles, and we will repeat again we will delete also this straight line of edges. We will select them, press X and edges. You will notice now that if I use Alt Shift and right click, that the result is not what I want. Okay, it selects all the edges here, so I have to select the edges one by one by clicking Shift and right click. Okay, I will go on filling these areas. Okay, and here, actually, for these edges that are inside, I can use Alt Shift and right click. For the others, I will use just Shift and right click. Okay, we are finished for the x-axis, but we will repeat the same along this axis. We will select a single line of tiles. We will press Y to split, and we will move along the y-axis, again leaving a space of a single unit. We will select the edges. Again, I have to select them one by one and press F to fill the gap. Okay, we continue as we did before by extending the already existent tiles. Press K to enter cut mode and start adding new vertices. Press C to create another set of vertices. For this tile, I don't think that I need to extend it more. I will leave it as it is. I will go to the next one, and the next, and this, and this one, this, and finally this. When I finish, we press enter, and we will do the same for the lower line. Again, I will leave this as it is and start from the second one. This one too, and this one. Just make sure to have a variety of sizes and shapes. Press enter, and let's get rid of these straight lines of edges. Press X and select edges again. Whoa. Okay, no, let me... No, I shouldn't have erased this one. Only those that are inside a tile. Press X and edges and fill the gaps that we are created. Alt Shift and right click, or Shift and right click where you have to select each edge one by one, and F to fill the gap. Okay, I will do the same for this set of edges. I won't select the first one because that's a single tile. I haven't extended it, so I will select these edges, X and edges. This one too. Okay, and I will fill the gaps. Right, now we have to fill the area in the middle too. Press K and start filling. Okay, okay, and this one. I don't like this one. Let me see what I can do. Okay, I will leave it as it is. Okay, and here. No. And there. And this one, and finally this one. Press enter to finalize. Okay, we have a slight problem here, but it won't look that bad. Again, there are some large tiles. I want to make them smaller. Press K and start dividing the tiles. Okay, and this one too. Can I make this one too? No, I want to. Maybe yes. Okay, I think I'm fine. Okay, so we have created another version of the mesh, which it's not rectangular. There are sharp edges, and we have created this in order to make it tileable. Okay, before we continue, we will save this mesh. Save as. And I urge you to do it too, because we will use this mesh for the third part of the tutorial, so you better save it. Okay, so now what we are going to do is what we did at the end of the first part. We are going to select all the vertices. We will press Alt E and choose individual faces. By moving the mouse cursor, we add height to our tiles, and then we press Alt S in order to separate the tiles. Don't make large gaps here. We don't need a large gap. That's because we will add the subsurf modifier and it will create larger gaps. So if you have created large gaps at this stage, the final result might be different, or you can test if you want. Maybe you will like the final result. Okay, so I finalize by left clicking. One more option you have here to add more detail is to use the bevel tool. The bevel tool will create slopes at the edge of the tiles. You can activate the bevel tool by pressing Ctrl B, and by moving the cursor you create these slopes. Okay, this will lead to substantially more vertices, but we are going to create a low poly version of the mesh, so I will add the bevel effect too. Okay, I think that's fine. Right, we have the smooth, we add the smooth shading, and then we add the subdivision surface modifiers. The first one will be symbol, and the second one will be Catmull Clark. Okay, our stone floor is ready. All we have to do now is to test whether it is tileable or not. I will apply the subsurf modifiers. Okay, if I go to edit mode, we can see that there are almost 22,000 faces. That's a large number, especially for a game. But we will see in part 3 how we can reduce the number of the faces. For now, we will check if the result is tileable. Okay, we will add again the array modifier. Okay, now we see that there is a gap here, so we have to tinker a bit with the values here. We will enter smaller values. Let's say 0.9. No, that was much. 0.91, 0.92. Okay, I think I need something between those values. 915, 0.913. I think that I can one slight bit more. Okay, that's perfect. And I will add more copies. Okay, 4 copies, a total of 4 copies for the x-axis. And I will add another array modifier, only that this time I want to add copies along the y-axis. Okay, again we have the gap here, but we will enter smaller values in order to close the gap. Oh, 88, 87. Okay, I think that's perfect. And let's add some more rows. Okay, the final result for this part of the tutorial. Okay, we can see that there are no ugly seams. Okay, the result is seamless and tileable. You can place as many copies of the original mesh, and you have a realistic looking floor. Okay, if you zoom out, you can see that there are repetitive areas, but when you create a game and you put props and buildings and places and other stuff, and those areas won't be visible. And as we have said, from close distance, no one can understand easily that this floor is just copies, doubles of the original mesh. Okay, that's all for now. For the next part, I will show how to create a low poly version of the floor, because we have a total of 16 copies of the original mesh, and this sums up to almost 350,000 faces. That's an extremely large number for a game. So until the next time, have fun with Blender and feel free to ask and comment.